I'm Dale Doback.
I'm Brennan Huff.
And I'm your host, Seth Rogan.
And you are watching Step Brothers Politics.
First, I would like to hear opening statements on whether the president deserves credit for a booming or failing economy from Dale and Brennan. Dale, you go first.
Well, I believe that the president has a significant influence on the overall health and growth of the country's economy. And this can be observed through the studying the impact of recent and current presidents.
Now, Brennan, let's hear your points.
Although the president has the power to influence consumer confidence and indirectly affect the economy, the majority of economic power rests outside of the president in Congress and the Federal Reserve. Therefore, the major power of the government in the economy is with monetary and fiscal policy.
Fantastic. Let's start off with how much economic power the president has within Congress.
Well, Brennan, so you said before that the president indirectly affects the economy. Well, I'll argue that he actually can directly affect the economy. And one way the president can do this is by raising tariffs. And this is even without Congress's approval. And the president used an executive order for this. So President Trump actually signed an executive order calling the Commerce Department to impose a 25% tariff on steel imports and a 10% tariff on aluminum. And this directly impacts the economy, the GDP, and everything. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, I respectively disagree because a lot of what goes on in Congress is fiscal policy within the economy. And fiscal policy is the use of government spending and taxation to influence the economy. Yes, the president may be able to influence the way Congress is going with this policy, but in the total ultimate end, it is the power of the Congress. And another power in economy of the Congress is they have the power of changing corporate tax rate, changing to a domestic tax system relative to tariffs, and limit the number of foreign labor and outsourcing, which can keep more domestic manufacturing within the United States, and changing loan rates. And the most important thing, the most important power Congress has within the economy, I believe, and is why the economy changes so much from recession, is the tax rate, and in particular the corporate tax rate, because this leads to the trickle-down effect, which gives more money in more people's pockets, which just totally sparks the economy with higher income.
Enough talk about Congress. Let's move on to the topic we have all been waiting for, GDP. Brennan, do you think the president should be credited for increasing or decreasing GDP?
Well, first off, I'd like to address this graph. As you can see, there's constant increase in the GDP, which is natural and expected throughout all terms of presidency, where it shows this positive correlation where no president has made a drastic influence on the GDP in a positive or negative way. In addition, throughout history, the Democratic presidents have enjoyed 4.35% annual GDP growth on average, while the Republicans have seen GDP growth of just 2.54%, according to Princeton economists. These Princeton economics, Alan Bider and Mark Watson, say that political party has nothing to do with this outcome, and that it relies only on the luck and success of the economy. For example, Franklin Roosevelt was president during World War II, and his luck was due to increasing manufacturing for the war effort during the war, which added more women to the labor force and really sparked the economy. And he was a Democrat. And so this was the pure luck of the economy, not the president, which sparked the GDP during this time.
Well, I think you could think it's luck, but you have to also see how different presidents and the parties they're affiliated with will have an effect on the economy as well. For instance, tax cuts for the wealthy and spending cuts to social insurance that Republicans advocate, like in Trump's case, will tend to redistribute income toward the wealthy and reduce protection of workers, while Democratic policies, as seen under Obama, will tax increase on the wealthy and we'll see more generous social insurance. And you could look at Trump's run so far, and his economy has achieved feats that most people didn't think possible. The GDP is growing at a rate of 3%, and it's pretty impressive. That's from CNBC.com.
Now let's move on to unemployment rates. What do you think, Mr. Dobak?
Well, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the U.S. unemployment rate has dropped to 3.9%, the lowest it has been in 17 years. Whether you want to argue that this is due to Trump's pro-business policies encouraging the creation of new jobs and putting America back to work, or that this success is attributed to Obama's policies and leadership, either way, the unemployment rate is directly affected by presidential actions and qualities.
Well, I disagree because according to Neil Irwin of the New York Times, when referencing Trump's kind of new election pro-business policy, when you take offense at the bottom of a recession with unemployment high, you can achieve a lot of growth just from natural healing of the economy. When you take offense at the top, there's nowhere to go but down. This may be bad news for Mr. Trump that the jobless rate was relatively low, 4.7% in December. And this kind of goes back to where the president is at the state of the economy when he's being elected and when he's in office, which is kind of going back to the pure luck of the economy. Thank you for joining us at Prestige Worldwide, and Step Brothers Politics, the first word in economics. GDP.
Interest rates,
Congress.
putting in the man hours.
And black leather gloves.